roster that we have is not for the Brazil. It's too high BPM. I think USA has more potential. Unless I FC, you know, that can happen.
You've been improving a lot. You've even been FCing maps from last year's World Cup pools, such as Burning Star with Hidden Hard Rock. Do you feel even more prepared after all this training?
I would say 2023 was like my lowest performance year. My consistency was like the lowest, and I got so much pressure. But this year compared to 2023, I would say 2024 is like my most prepared year for sure. Even compared to 2021.
Hello, good morning.
The most confident. I feel the most consistent.
In July, you won the gold in the laser.
Good morning, everyone.
OWC Laser's first ever major tournament. Do you think we'll see more laser?
Welcome.
Oh, I think so.
The United States
one of the biggest reasons is that I personally really
will bring it home once
I
more.
feel like it's not too combo. Like,
Too easy for the USA.
I think you can get pretty good score.
Oh, good morning. Hello, Team Yosh. Thank you for the 12 months, man.
It kind of feels weird for me to say my
Tuxcat, hello. Good morning.
take so much advantage, and that's what I like.
Yeah, if you're good at everything, then you're gonna excel.
Yeah, exactly.
You seemed excited about the new OWC rule set now allowing double bans on the same mod.
Oh yeah.
Are there any other changes you would like to see to the rules?
Azure Real, hello. Thank you for the 21 months. Welcome, chat.
I haven't really thought of other rule changes that I.
Ah, yes. Chaos Eater 39 wants to do a prediction. Chat, do you approve of Chaos Eater 39 suggestion to start a prediction? Or do you not agree with Chaos Eater 39?
You feel is the most underrated player on the South Korea roster?
I feel like from last year, Allegrismo got a lot of.
Alright, let's start a prediction. Make it last for like a billion years, please.
Because
As mentioned by Chaos Eater 39.
Always does some like unexpected.
Yo, Ed, have you been
Just
playing
manages
AVI
to
recently?
FC
Not at
when
all.
we
Haven't
really
touched the
need it,
game since.
and
I've
his
just been super
consistency
busy.
It's really, really good.
He's a very clutch player.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a clutch player, and I really value that. And yeah, you guys can actually like look forward of the Doomsday Fanboys performance this year.
Now, as many might know, you used to be arguably the best mouse player in the world before switching to tablet.
John Porler,
Would you
what's
ever
good,
consider
dude?
Switching back?
No.
Have you seen that board? Yes, aka Ryan
What if
Butler,
Petty offered
aka
you
the
$1
12 now
million?
13-year-old AIM
Oh,
prodigy recently hit #1
yes.
USA is now
that
global
changes
rank
everything.
11.
Yeah, that
I
changes
did see
everything.
that
Yeah, I really
on r/OC
appreciate
game. I've been
mouse
browsing
playing,
r/OC
but
game every
I
once in a
actually,
while.
Like, sometimes
pretty dope.
play with mouse again, but that mouse drift issue, that problem is still a thing, and I just hate it.
Last year,
Menu
South
do
Korea took the
at
United States
Adobo.
to a
What's good, bro?
tiebreaker in grand finals bracket.
VLM WXVY23. Hello,
Now,
hello.
With the addition of new players, do you think this is your best shot ever at a World Cup title?
Yeah, definitely. In 2023, I expected that team to be the best team that we've ever made.
I'm sorry,
And
Tuna,
I
but
never
that's
thought this year we
copium.
would make the team even stronger, but we actually managed to. Especially.
Alright, hold
me,
up. I need to
myself,
mod my,
feel much
I need to
more
modify
confident.
this.
I really feel like I can do it.
Oh, shit,
Last
that's
year
the
it
wrong
was
one.
like a full of doubt, but compared to that, like this year, I'm just like filled with the confidence and belief we will do our best.
Yo!
Well, best of luck to you.
Flying
Thank you
Tuna
so
is
much for coming out for
confident.
this interview.
Thank you so much for inviting.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone watching.
This guy thinks he has a
Welcome
chance
back
against
to
the
the
United
World Cup
States.
2024.
That's
We are
funny.
here for the winners finals, a battle of titans. A matchup that a couple of years ago would have been David versus Goliath. No matter who was on the left side of the screen, it would have always been the United States as Goliath, but no more. The last couple years in a row now have shown us that Giants 2 can bleed. I am Dio. And
Fucking hell, Dio! Why are you so good at commentating, bro?
This one guy.
You're making me feel like this is going to be a close match, but in reality, the US of A
And
will
what a
obliterate
winners
them.
final this is gonna be, man. It is an
There's no
immovable
doubt about it.
object versus an unstoppable force. The clear-cut top two teams in the bracket this year. Korea on this 22-0 map win streak. United States looking about as strong as ever. Anybody who saw the qualifiers results had this date penciled in on their calendar. They were ready for the inevitable. the South Korea United States rematch once more, and we got it here. And man, oh man, I am so ready.
I am so ready. As you said, it's two teams that have looked pretty much impeccable throughout the tournament. South Korea has not dropped a single map. They were #1 seed out of qualifiers and have
hopefully
proceeded to drop 0 maps
overlay's
whatsoever
better
throughout the entire tournament. The United States, on the other hand, have just looked better and better as the tournament has gone on.
What's up, dude? Jaeger JL, what's up? What's up?
This is a team that
Mr.
historically
Cubics, welcome.
has done nothing but
Rare stream from my retired streamer. I'm not retired. Who the fuck said I was retired?
To see that happen again here in 2024 is no surprise. This
Pi
is
Q1,
a
thank you.
stylistically different matchup for both
Oni-chan,
of these teams as well.
who
United
took
States
my
this year,
user,
kind of
thank
an
you.
all-rounder roster
Lao
built to do pretty much everything at a very high level.
Thank you.
South Korea, while they're a little underrated on speed, definitely
thank you.
have their
Design, thank
strengths
you. Good sushi,
well-defined
thank you.
in the
State
aim
exams,
control, the
thank
reading,
you.
and the
Brian
hidden
Gogo,
mods.
thank
So,
you. Saft
a lot
Pug,
of
Pakung,
room
thank
for
you.
picks for both
Tayu,
of
thank
these
you.
teams with the kind
Fid
of stylistic
Minger,
matchup that
thank
we
you.
have between them.
Azubu
And,
Real,
Ernest,
thank you.
match
Team
time.
Josh, thank you.
It's time to get
Tuck
into that
Scott,
map
thank
pool.
you.
It's time to get into the bands, hopefully.
VLM
as we see
Wavy
these teams
23,
start to face
thank you.
off against
Oz
one
Airly,
another.
thank
Just looking
you.
at the rosters again, you can see exactly why they have this stylistic matchup. Players like Worst HR Player, like Flying Tuna.
I
like
love the
Fragrance of
streams, man.
Page,
Damn right.
like Hyok
I've been
have
streaming
staples
every
for South Korea throughout the tournament so far.
Blue
Karcher as
Moon,
well,
it's
through
great.
Both the qualifiers and other rounds has been very, very solid for them on a lot of the aim-focused maps. Whereas for the United States,
even
you're looking
Vaxe
at
is more
Utami, you're
consistent
looking
stream.
at
Vaxe
Recticon,
hasn't
you're
gone
looking
live in a
at
fucking
Bingo
year.
White
What are you
Pez,
talking
you're
about?
Looking at Taquito, and these players, lots of them, very, very strong on the speed.
Zanzibar, thank you. Shawnee, thank you. Howie, thank
these
you.
two teams, right? It was the grand finals matchup in 2022. It was the grand
So
finals
haven't
matchup
you?
again in 2023.
Bro, the last time I streamed was only like a week ago. Come on,
both of
man.
them just managed to keep getting even better, which is absurd. You know, South Korea, as you mentioned, they bring in some of these new players. They bring in Hyok, they bring in Fragrance.
Wait, do
of Page.
people actually
United
think
States
South
brings
Korea
back
is going to
Decay
win this?
Tommy from past winning years.
There's no
they
way.
Bring in Pez, one of the most hyped rookies. Of
People
the year.
actually think South
And,
Korea is
yeah,
going to
the
win?
United States
No.
has done this job
No
of bolstering
way,
their
dude.
speed roster. Their mechanics lineup has gotten even
Actually,
better.
no, keep it coming. That'll
South
way
Korea,
the USA
gotten better,
gamblers
mechanics gotten
will
even
actually
better
get a
at
huge,
game control,
big-ass
at-
payout.
At really anything you
Keep
can ask
voting
for when
South
you bring in
Korea.
Hyok,
Do
you bring
it.
in Page, you bring in a lot of strong
USA
things.
needs
And
the big
already,
payout.
Seeing some unsurprising bans here, right? Nomad 5, I think we were basically guaranteed to see banned out by South Korea. They don't want to have to contend with this insane United States speed roster. Going to ban out the DT3 as well. That 300 BPM DT pick gone from the pool. United States, meanwhile, as expected, also banning into South Korea's strengths. The hidden 2 reading.
Chaos
overlap
Eater
heavy
39, you
pick,
bet 100K on
and
South
the
Korea?
hidden 1
What the?
Just getting rid of an extreme strength for South Korea. Who themselves
I hope you
are gonna
realize
have
what
the
South
first
Korea
pick. They're
hasn't
gonna
lost
go
a
into
single
this
map
Nomad
so
2,
far
and this is a
truly
map
means.
that
It
we
doesn't
did
matter
talk about
because they
this
will.
team
They are about to
being
lose.
very
What is
strong
it?
on. The
1, 2,
control
3,
aim, the
4,
alt
5,
skill
6,
sets
7 maps
so
in a row.
Good for the South Korea roster, have continued to be good for years on end. And I think this is kind of the expectation, right, of this match. We talked about it at length beforehand, and you're anticipating South Korea going into the aim control skill sets and whatever is available of reading and tech skill sets. United States, on the other hand, going to look probably to opt into the tapping mechanics. So starting off with a map that I think is very expected to see the South Korea team really
Chief
like
CFL, thank you for the 32, man.
This is the bread.
Eldrick,
and butter
David, give
for
that
South
up.
Korea, right? I mean, if you look at any,
I'm calling
one
7-5 to
skill
South
set
Korea.
this
Go!
team is unparalleled on. It has to be this kind of aim control focused alt pick, right? This is the thing that so many of their members came up through the tournament ranks.
I'm all in on USA.
Known for.
My man.
You think of Amamiya Kokoro.
Someone finally knows how to use their brain.
First HR player. You think aim control alt. You think Fragrance of Page. You think aim control alt. You think Flying Tuna. For a long time, you thought aim control alt. Now, it's very many years since that's the only thing you thought of when you think Flying Tuna, but that's how he got his start as well. You think about just about anyone on this roster, and this type of skill set should be one of the very first things that comes to mind. And it's no surprise that they're first picking it as well, when this is just something that they have an absolute world-class roster. You could see this you could see any of these 4 players 1v1ing on this sort of map in a grand finals tournament in an open rank 1v1. So not at all a surprise to see them picking into this first. And as for the United States, obviously, they are still going to have a good roster for most of these maps. Right?
Dude, I fucking love
Dio.
Dio.
This is a roster that was built to do it
Dio
all.
is such a good
and
commentator.
they
It's actually
definitely
unreal.
can. Taquito, Decate, and Pez, all very
Oh,
good
wait, my
control
face is,
players.
like, blocking him. Hold
not
up.
going to be seeing Rectigon in for this one. It's going to be Utami to fill out the 4th player for the United States. But that's still an extremely scary roster for the United States. Just it's the
Sorry,
first pick
Tommy.
for South
I'm
Korea.
blocking,
You
like,
have
half of
to
your
expect this
screen.
roster to deliver on it.
Heart rate monitor? So true,
You
broski.
do, and I will say, though, it does feel a little bit like a lot of these picks for South Korea, because they're not quite such binary skill sets, right, in the aim control alt type of department, as well as the tech. The variation in score is going to be a lot higher than on something like a speed map. So it does feel like there are quite a few of these South Korea picks.
All right, first map of the day. Here we go.
Look to get that going early. They've got a roster that thrives on momentum. Any early breakpoint, any early lead is going to be really big, but South Korea is a team that's just looked indomitable this year. As we mentioned, has not dropped a single point, has had so many just really one-sided maps, let alone match scores.
I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time I've ever heard the word dominable.
Time again. Anytime you see worst HR player flying Tuna, Fragrance, and Page in for a map, it's going to be scary. And so
Warm up or no? I don't think they do warm ups in OWC anymore, do they?
Map number 1, winners final. This will be
They just go straight
one
in.
of these teams winning. Between the two of them, they've won the last 4 winners finals, with Korea taking the last 2, USA taking it, or excuse me, last
You're
6,
so
USA
dominable.
taking it from 2018 to 2021. Something's got to give here, and I don't know what it's going to be, but a few hundred combo in, and it's not much at all, as this map is dead even with 8 FCs still on the board.
And this map, we haven't talked a lot about this map because we've been talking about the
Oh,
teams, but
2 breaks
This map is
on
ridiculous
South Korea?
for these back and forth patterns. You see
Utami did break as well, though.
Tuna, Utami all breaking right at the start of this first PI
Favors the
time.
USA.
This map has not just the aim control patterns, not just the high spacing flow aim, but at a very high BPM for an alt pick. This is 168 BPM. Another few breaks come through. Taquito, Decaton, and Fragrance Page. It's now 0 FCs for the United States. Only
Wait a
worst
second.
HR player to hold for South Korea. This is the guy who managed to carry them as a star player in grand finals last year, almost to victory. This is the player who managed to start their comeback in bracket reset during the 2022 grand finals. And this is the player that you are going to look to as the star performer for South Korea, somebody on whom there are massive expectations as the #1 performance score player out of qualifiers, #1 in quarterfinals, #2 in semifinals. He will finally miss with enough work done by the caster curse.
Here we go.
There's not too many big combos on
3
the United States.
breaks on SK. We still have combos on USA.
Right after
It's over for
this
them.
shorter flow aim part.
It's over for them. Come on.
Difficult parts of the map.
There we go, USA.
And it's right back
in
into
the
the heart of the
lead.
map with the United States holding on to combo on all 4 members. Decaton does fall, but it's traded out. Amamiya Kokoro flying Tuna going down. Pez falls there, but the United States does manage to take a little bit of a lead. It's about 30,000 points, still a quarter of the map to go, but those big combos on Taquito and Utami are going to be doing work.
Oh,
and there's
fuck.
another break from Worst
Utami, you have to hold.
Utami falls
No!
next, and now Fragrance of Page, newcomer to the South Korea roster, going to see if he can pull this score back their
No way Fragrance actually does it, right?
It is little and less in between the two teams here on this first pick. If Fragrance
That
does
closes
break,
it.
that's going to stem
That's
the
done.
flow of that score heading to South Korea. United States holding for now and expanding the lead a little bit here into the late stage. It is big wiggle stream, and everybody but
Bro, it's
Dayton
done.
hits it. And we
Chat.
might be seeing United
What's that
States
about
clutching
South
early
Korea
advantage,
not
but if
losing
Tommy
a
falls,
single
Dayton falls
map?
again, there is still
What's
a little
that?
bit of time
Huh?
here.
But there's just no combo on the side of South Korea. It's all up to worst HR player. Taquito and Pez will break as well, but it's 70k in the favor of the United States. There
Wait,
have
what the
to
fuck?
be chain misses coming from the USA, and right now they're coming from South Korea. The score goes back the way of the United States, and it's 90k, 87k
What
in favor
happened?
of the United States.
What
and that
happened?
Is the
South
first
Korea has
point
never
that
lost a
any
single
team
map. What
has taken
happened?
off of South Korea this
What
entire
happened, Chad?
tournament.
Come on,
It's a
man.
Winners finals, and United
Listen,
States
dude.
takes their
You
first
can't
pick
defeat
as a
freedom.
break point by 87,000 to start off
Freedom
the
will
match. And
always prevail.
This is the difficulty. You said it before the map started, Aaron, for South Korea, that these picks,
You were sweating
they
on
are
the
not
first
so
map
binary.
since
They are
when?
not so
Fake news.
one-sided that you can just expect wins on every pick for South Korea from this team in this matchup. This is not like the last 4 rounds of the tournament.
It is absolutely not at all. You have a better team on the
That was
other
on-
side
that was
for
on South Korea's pick
in
as
this
well.
USA roster that knows how to get it done in the biggest moments, and you've got players who are going to be able to perform on skill sets that we normally ascribe as South Korean
Dr.
dominated.
Ku won. Thank you.
United States can
Linku,
show
thank
off
you.
whoever it
Grid,
may be,
thank you.
Taquito
Handicapable,
or
thank you.
Decade,
PRX
or
JD,
Pez, or
thank you.
Tommy, the whole
Kyoko
roster
Yuki,
putting up
thank
better
you.
scores
Craft
than
H,
all
thank
but
you.
worst HR
Cheap
player on
CFL,
South
thank
Korea.
you.
And that, as you said, first
And did you see
point
Bowman pop
drop
off against Canada
by
in the
this
losers
Korean
bracket? I
roster
did
this
not.
Entire tournament. It's a break point to start off the match.
But I would believe it.
And in our discussion before the match, I feel like we
It won't
talked
let
a
me
bit about
donate.
how
It's
the
all
United
good, man.
States
I'm reading
wanted
chat.
to find a break point somewhere. They can't just rely on winning their own picks and hoping for tiebreaker at best, because that tiebreaker is such a toss-up between
That was
these
just
teams.
the
And
warm-up?
now they've started off the match exactly how they would have
Cope.
liked. It's going to be DT1 as their first pick. I don't think really any surprise there to see hold your
He literally
cover
isn't reading
opening
chat.
from
I
top
am! What are you
USA,
talking
an
about?
Extremely strong.
Damn right,
speed
US on
mechanics
top!
team. And this is 261 BPM D&B burst heavy with a little bit of aim thrown in.
Cameron, look at the
right
score.
up the USA's alley.
Who has a point?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think
US.
the big thing for the United States is
Who doesn't have a
lot
point?
of these picks you want
SK.
to see these
Come on, bro.
dominant members for South Korea out of the lobby, right? All the people we talked about going in for that No Mod 2, people like Forum, people like Tuna, people like Fragrance of
And you
Page,
can have the
people
wrong
like,
opinions, it's fine.
Karcher, people
Let's see what the
like-
payout is going to be when South Korea loses.
People like Hyok, right? These people do not really like playing the speed. Hyok has gotten a lot better at it. Karcher, of course, is solid on
11.1
it.
million
But
channel points are about to literally
star players in
disappear
Forum,
from
Tuna,
the
and Fragrance of Page,
copesters
South
that
Korea.
is
These have
this
been their,
chat.
General speaking, top performers through multiple rounds of the
Feels good,
tournament.
man.
These are all players who don't really like the speed maps, right? And so if you are the United States, you want those players in the lobby as little as possible during your own picks. And this is a very effective way of getting them out of the lobby, picking this DT1. AR 10.5, by the way, in the finals
Top
weekend.
voters on USA
It's
should be
been,
winning around
a little
700K
while
if USA
since
wins.
10.5 has
Damn,
made
we
its
need more
way
people voting for
into
South
the
Korea.
general
We
community
need to get that up
tournament
to
scene.
1 mil.
A lot more of it in the US World Cup this year as well. That semifinals DT4 from last weekend also. Some of that higher AR 10.5 in the DT pool. This one as well going up on that. And yeah, a very, very mechanics-heavy, straightforward map. Lots of
Vote for the
260
winning
BPM
team, no
streams,
problem.
Lots of jumps,
Easy.
lots of bursts, and this is something that
Sideline,
South
what's
Korea,
up?
yeah, they have 4
Oh,
people
shit,
who
thank you for
can
the
play
1,000
this, but the
bits.
United States again on paper. favor.
Playboy888 is going
The
all
trouble with
in
this
on
map
South
is that
Korea.
Unlike on the No Mod 5, this is
Bro is
again,
shoving
not
on nothing.
so binary of a pick that this is unwinnable for South Korea. So I think a lot of these picks that you're going to see with the bans that have already come out aren't going to look super one-sided. Even a map like this is accessible for these South Korean players who have been grinding
Alright,
the speed.
USA
grinding the
picks a
tapping
DT map.
throughout the
Damn.
year, and making it so that they can contest when it comes down to it.
Yeah, South Korea, after last year, we saw them take that break point on the Free Mod 2 in Grand Finals. Remember that speed pick back then? They were eliminated in second place largely due to the heavy mechanics tiebreaker. And I think ever since then, they became determined to not let that sort of thing happen again. But United States,
Big
man,
thank
you look
you.
at this roster, and you just got
Suroma
such
run,
good
thank you.
tapping players. You were expecting great things out of this roster every single time. And, you know, we talked a little bit in the early goings that South Korea may be a little bit underrated on the speed skill set.
Early break
and now's
from
their
Window
chance
Life?
to prove a lot of people wrong about what they can do on these types of maps. We see several early breaks. It's Hyok, it's Fragrance of Page, Doomsday Fanboy, Taquito, Window Life, and Rectagon all breaking. Flying Tuna and Utami already the only 2 FCs left in the lobby.
The problem with those early breaks, though, a lot of AC dropped for South Korea, particularly on Hyok, and Flying Tuna is on the 93% FC versus the 97% for Utami, so another 30k score lead right there for the United States. The recovery is good for everyone, though. Everyone now still holding just fine as we get into the more jump and burst section of this DMB.
Utami and Tuna are
DT1.
still holding
Not
on,
so
but
much the longer streams
Utami has a much
anymore,
higher
and so a lot
accuracy.
of people far more comfortable. But another break comes through for Fragrance of Page, and that's the only break to be spotted so far. So another combo lead over to the United States, and just going to keep that score lead on their side and accrue even more for the Americans. Doc with another break. Flying Tuna, Fragrance of Page also breaking at the same time.
Guys, it was
Tito will
inevitable.
match, but that's the only break from the United States. And that is a three-way break you do not want to see if you are rooting for South Korea. Now just Doomsday Fanboy left alone. He falls too, and that is now the United States. Utami's still on the FC. Rectagon on the reverse choke. Window Life on the reverse choke. And high 97 accuracy at the lowest for these three players. Just a massive combo lead, massive score lead, already over 400k for the United States, and no signs of
There's no
slowing.
way, right?
This is the USA's playground. This type of map is what
There's
we
no way,
predicted
right?
that they would be picking and enjoying in
There's
this
no
matchup.
way,
We're
right?
Seeing it play out live as to exactly why that is. 95 act Tuna, 92 act on Hyok. Meanwhile, nearly 99 on Window Life, high 97s on Rectagon Utami. Another three-way reset for South Korea despite the break from Window Life. This one is long gone. One-way traffic on the first pick for the United States in exactly the way they would have liked it. Proving a decisive advantage, at least on this pick, is really good for them, as we said. So good with momentum is this United States team, has this United States been for so long. If they get going in a match, it is tough sledding to try and bring it back, and the early break point and the humongous consolidation is going to do wonders for them getting this match going. It is an Utami full combo still intact into the ending. It is a Rectagon reverse choke, a Taquito high combo into the ending as well. 1.2 million points, the score lead, and growing. United States absolutely dominant on their first pick here.
Yeah, this is a far cry from the extremely close Nomad 2 breakpoint for the USA we just saw out of South Korea on their first pick. This is the United States asserting dominance and saying,
what
yes,
the fuck,
you were right to ban out
FC?
those other speed
Utami
maps. You
FC!
ban this out against us.
In
There
match!
is no chance you are taking this skill set against us. 1.6 million team score difference for the United States on this pick. They almost double South Korea's team score on this map. In the winners semifinals, we were looking at South Korea's overall team score differences against Germany, and it came out to like an average 800k or something. The United States just generated that kind of average score lead in 2 picks with this DT1
South
performance.
Korean
I think this
fans
is the second highest
sweating,
overall
dude.
team score
Their
difference
channel
in the
points
tournament. The only other
are
higher
about
one
to
being
evaporate.
UK's DT1 performance versus Canada last weekend, where
It's only
UK
map 2, though.
effectively 4-way FC'd the
2-0
map. So
for
United
USA.
States, with this kind of a score difference not on a 4-way FC, that is absolutely ridiculous in terms of just how dominant the score line was for this team.
And that is a scary proposition if you're on the other side. You see USA coming in and putting up score lines like that. Puts the fear of God in you, perhaps, as an opponent. But South Korea only down the 1 break point. It's not like the match is anything close to over. And here is a skill set that we have seen kind of surprisingly ignored by this South Korean roster for much of the bracket stage. They're going to go into the hidden 3. United States, of course, banned out both of the other hiddens in this pool. And South Korea was dominant on the hiddens in round of 16 as well as in the qualifiers. They didn't play a single hidden in quarterfinals or semifinals. He's not picked a single hidden in those rounds. So we kind of were left wondering what was going on there. Was it something of a bait? And perhaps the answer to that is now proven to be a resounding no, as they're going to opt into the hidden 3 with their own second pick of this match. And this is, well, is it a bait from the United States? They banned the other 2 hiddens, left this one up, so this was their most preferred of the 3. That doesn't mean they're going to be great at it.
Not lemon, thank you.
Preferred hidden if they're going to have to play one of them.
Strive Stoker, what's up, dude?
Insane.
Give the 36 months, man.
Gotta like them on a map such as this one.
Again,
here's my sub
South
message since
Korea
Twitch didn't
had
let me
both
have
the
one.
number
Dear
1
Edward
and
Link,
number
day
2
67 of
scores
waiting
on
for
both hidden maps
BTMC to
and
play Chernobyl so we can play together
Yes, they
for
haven't
grinding
played
the
it much since
Chernobyl
then,
leaderboards
but
together.
as you
I
said,
wait
this
for
is
the
a
man
team
for
that
us to join together
really
and
can't
dominate.
Discount on the hidden, especially something like this.
Eventually.
Largely a awkward, jumbled flow aim test. It is a Daria core song mapped by wafers, so a lot of slider jumps, a lot of really wonky tech sliders.
You haven't even made an account?
The
What?
vast majority of the combo in this map comes from.
Can't I just use my old account from the beta?
BTM, almost Rubik's Cube-esque streams that just have overlapping wiggles doubling back on themselves all
I have
over
to
the place,
recreate
and
it?
It is a bear to play. In some ways, Hidden can actually make the flow aim on this easier, but when you start to get higher spacing, high curvature, sometimes that Hidden becomes very, very difficult once again. So this is an extremely tough pick. Again, United States, they left this one up out of the remaining Hiddens, but South Korea also left DT1 up out of the remaining DTs. So, you know, it goes both ways here. We'll see if South Korea can generate a similar sort of comfortable lead on this map for themselves. Amamiya Kokoro, Fragrance of Page, Flying Tuna, worst HR player in for South Korea to try to put up a point on the board against the United States with Decayton, Rectagon, Utami, and Taquito on this Hidden 3. Shout out to Pastry, by the way, for reaching out to me for
worst
this
HR player actually
sample
hit the slider.
December 2020.
Taquito did too. Oh my god.
In the works for a while.
This is a very, very cool track to have for sure. And it got a deservingly excellent map. And here we are going to go into some of these really challenging flow and slider patterns, and it's immediately a full reset for United States. South Korea holding the four-way. United States, nothing left already. So maybe this entire hidden pool was just not good for USA, and it didn't matter which one they left up. We'll see what happens the rest of the way through, though. 3 minutes long, but they are struggling mightily in the early going. South Korea is just racing out.
Wait, worst HR player is actually struggling.
From 3 members, though. I mean, Kokoro, Fragrance Page, and worst HR player all default. It's going to, you know, put a little bit of a band-aid on
Tuna's
the
fucking carrying. Oh my god!
In the early stages here, but Flying Tuna still holding on to that full combo. We'll see what Rectagon and Utami can do to try to pull this combo difference back at least a little bit. It didn't get too out of hand, 150k the lead, but not the greatest start here. Meanwhile, South Korea doing what they needed to on this pick so far. Flying Tuna's got to hold, though.
Yeah, Flying Tuna has to hold. The recoveries are there for Rectagon and Utami, but better combo for at least one of the recovery combos over either Decayton and Taquito. But there goes Decayton now, and so the United States dropping one of those recovery combos. There goes Utami as well.
Wait, what the fuck? How is Utami and Decayton breaking on nothing?
Grimmer and grimmer on this map. The score lead jumping out to about 250k now for South Korea off the back of this full combo from Flying Tuna. Taquito and Rectagon do have supporting combos here for the United States. They do have recoveries. There's another miss to come through for Amamiya Kokoro. Decayton will match another miss to come through for both of those players. But Fragrance of Page and worst HR player are matching Taquito and Rectagon. There goes Taquito
what
as
the
well,
fuck, dude?
Oh
my god,
and there goes Flying Tuna. He will finally drop
he finally
the FC,
breaks.
But it just does not matter. Fragrance of Page and worst HR player are there to have his back. And that is what makes this roster so scary, is that all of these players can individually pop off on a map like this.
You are terrified of all 4 members in the lobby right now for South Korea on a map like this. When one combo falls, another one rises up to take its place. Whether it's Page, whether it's Forum, Tuna, Amamiya Kokoro, whoever, somebody will have a big combo and somebody will be there to pick up any slack that might be left. And it's going to be a pretty sizable win here for South Korea on their second pick. This is going to get them on the board. United States has the consolidated break point, but that is a much better feeling map for South Korea, winning it by a 420-ish thousand point margin. After we get through this last little bit here, it does go up to
It's okay, Hidden is a shit mod anyway.
And that
is the reason why, obviously, the USA had to ban 2 of them. Because Hidden is just a shit mod. Why would anyone want to play Hidden?
Got here in such one-sided fashion so often, because they are so good at some of these very
It's true, chat. No one plays Hidden.
And that is the kind of performance we are more accustomed to seeing of the South Korean roster.
No sane, reasonable person would ever want to play with Hidden.
Team score, and again, it's these staple members for them. Flying Tuna, worst HR player, Fragrance Page, and
Taquito mains Hidden.
Taquito
doesn't exist
a lot in this World Cup so far. Has had a sort of quieter performance. Has not been in on as many picks as players.
Sorry,
like
Suki. Thank you.
Like
I just want to say that if you didn't know already, Suki is deleting all of their songs on December 31st. I saw that.
Coming in for a few more picks here.
It's okay. Everything exists on the internet forever, so it's fine.
This is a very scary player, and definitely.
But the story of how they got to this point is
Korea, somebody who
ridiculous.
Can absolutely make the
Lowly era. Thank you.
Like that, so good to see them back in as well.
Eldrick,
And now
thank
for the
you.
United
Butter
States,
Mackerel, thank
I
you.
mean,
Zen Osu, thank
At
you.
some point, you have to just expect the DT2, right? I mean, the lead on DT1 was
Some random YouTube channel
6
named
million
2U
almost.
Archive is about to go
They
insane.
almost doubled the team score from South Korea. You kind of have to expect the DT2, but it's going to be Hard Rock 3 instead. This was a pick we weren't completely sure about from the United States. This is a team that so far this tournament has not really liked these sorts of Space Stream maps, but this pick is quite different from a normal Space Stream map. This is not My Heart Will Go On. This is not Reason. This
No
is not,
OWC pool will ever be
any of
complete
those
unless it
sorts
has
of
Mazarin.
farm Space Stream maps. This is a Mazarin map with tons and tons of corners, changing
Spider-Man
stream shapes,
song.
all
What?
different sorts of streams in this map. A lot of linear streams, a lot of changes into kind of basic jump aim, as well as high spacing circular flow at the same time. And those transitions, those shorter or slightly shorter stream lengths in this map as well can be very good.
I thought
If you are
BTMC
a
was
team
playing this
that
year.
Isn't super happy with
Listen.
kind of basic stream farm like My Heart.
I'm
Will
just
Go
too good for the men. If I join the team,
And we
it would
really
just be
kind of
too easy for
waffled
the
a lot
USA.
on this map as to whether or not it would be something the United States would want to pick into.
You know, if the
Because
USA
of
actually
those
struggles
reasons
and
you're
loses,
describing,
then
you
maybe
know,
I'll
not
consider.
really loving a lot of the flowway maps in the pools so far. And just
Yeah,
the
exactly.
difficulty
People were
of the way
complaining
this
that the
particular
USA is
map
just too
is
dominant, and I'm
created.
like,
But
I get
if
it.
they're gonna decide to opt into this.
I'll step back.
You know, their list of maps feels like it maybe runs out a little sooner than South Korea, so the priority on a map like this might go up a little bit. But this South Korea roster on the map of this style is pretty scary. You've got a flowing monster in Karcher. You've got players like Hyok, Allegrismo, Doomsday Fanboy to choose from. Amia Kokoro flying Tuna. Like, again, it's a situation where South Korea can put together a 4-man roster out of several different options for a lot of these picks. And it is going to look like these 4. So we're going to see that 4 members for South Korea. We're going to see Pez, Window Life, Decaden, and Rectagon for the United States. Maybe expected like a Takedo or an Utami, but both of them out on this one. So we will see how this roster handles this very challenging flow test as United States will be looking to hold on to their breakpoint advantage throughout the match. But a map like this, South Korea feels like they might just be able to find inroads. Very easy to break on so many of those changing angle streams and very challenging flow patterning. This is one to keep your eyes on because this could go any which way throughout its entire duration. And it's a long one, 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, very early break to start us off from Window Life on the side of the United States, but nothing to write home about. Just a, 20 combo difference here at the start. Another break to come through for Amamiya Kokoro, but is matched by a chain miss to come through for Window Life. So another couple of those breaks going to keep things on the side of South Korea for now, but very, very slowly going their way. And in fact, I think going back the way of the United States ever so slightly, maybe the accuracy advantage for the US pulling things back their way, but just a slight score lead for South Korea. And into the first KI time here, you can see now going into some of the jump aim, going into some of these circular stream flow with the higher spacing. It changes up a lot from the linears preceding this section, and there goes Flying Tuna. Does find what I think was a miss-aim on the start of a stream, and missed a couple of notes right at the start there. Back into the linear flow now with the high spacing. Flying Tuna going to find another drop there. It's Karcher, Hyok, and Amamiya Kokoro to fight against Pez, Decaton, and Rectagon, all on FCs, plus Window Life on this matching supporting combo from Amamiya Kokoro. And this is, once again, the United States pulling out with a lead on their own pick. The full combo advantage doing all the work right now in their favor. But there goes Pez. Does find a miss-aim. Window Life also miss-aiming right afterwards, and suddenly it's right back the way of South Korea. They have the full combo lead now, and the matching supporting combo to go with it. Just the 2 FCs now for Decaton and Rectagon.
Okay,
But of
that
course,
evens
right
it
as you
up.
say that,
Okay,
it's gonna
let's
be Amamiya
go.
Kokoro, Karcher, and Flying Tuna
It's a
all
1v1
to fall. And just like that, it
It's
goes back
Rectagon
over to
versus
the United
Hyok.
States again. It goes back and forth once more. It is Hyok holding the combo for South Korea, but Decaton and Rectagon holding down the fort for
Oh,
the
shit,
United
I didn't even
States
realize
just
Decaton
past
was
halfway
FCing.
mark.
What the fuck?
These flow changing spacing and
Well,
awkward
not
patterns
anymore.
can catch you out easily. It's a double reset again. It's Karcher and Hyok to fall. Window Life and Decaton. There goes Rectagon as well.
Oh, wait,
and
I think
now
that's good
it
enough.
is, again, the lead to South Korea as Amamiya Kokoro, Flying Tuna both matching the Pez combo. and they have plenty of time to work at bringing this score back if they can both hold. It never got that big. It's only 100 from Kane. Another couple chain misses from Kane and Hydrogen Bomb. That is Rectagon. I can never...
There's only a quarter of the map left.
It is breaks everywhere, is what I am trying to say. Nobody able to hold very well, but Ami, Kokoro, Flying Tuna, and Pez still keeping it going.
I think South Korea, if they want to take this as a breakpoint back from the United States, they might need Pez to break. It's still 100K in the favor of the U.S. and just a little bit of map remaining. It's going to be close if not, but there goes Amamiya Kokoro and Flying Tuna, and that'll do it. Pez to hold at the end of the map for the United States and secure this point. Make sure that there's no chance that either of those big combos from the side of South Korea had any shot at bringing this score lead back. It's another one in the bag for the United States and a 3-1 score line to cap off their
good shit,
second
Pez.
pick.
My
Very,
God.
very solid scores from multiple people in this lobby, but ultimately it comes out from the United States.
That was so close. It was a 100K
Pez,
difference.
Dekaten, and
They didn't have a
Rectagon,
chance.
putting in major work there to make sure that score lead stayed on their side for basically the entire map. There was that little itty-bitty 15K score lead at the start for South Korea, and once that first FC drop happened, it never went back their way.
Edward Ling is the secret member of USA in case something happens.
Again, you know, kind of the USA doing a little bit of what South Korea was doing on the previous map, where if somebody broke, somebody else had a combo, whether it was Rectagon, Dekaten, or Pez through the ending there. And, I mean, geez, can we talk about Pez, right? Coming in as another one of these very hyped-up rookie players in OWC this year, like Fragrance of Page, like Skia from the UK, and really performing to and even exceeding expectations has been nothing but impressive time and time again, holding the clutch combo out for the USA on that map to maintain that 100K plus lead throughout the last quarter of the pick. And now we go to South Korea for another pick of their own, and they're going to pick into a skill set that I think we anticipated out of them in this matchup. It's going to be the free mod 1.
I've paid attention to OWC this year, bought my supporter flag, and now we're going to win this match. God bless the United States of America. Damn right, Matt!
On aim maps over the past couple of weeks. Their team score.
What's up with the stream title? It's just the OWC watch party of USA versus South Korea, except South Korea gets obliterated by freedom, capitalism, Elon Musk, the Second Amendment, and Harvard Uni.
Where they should be advantaged against the United States team that historically has really
McDonald's
never leveraged aim as a main strength. They have been largely content to ignore it, and South Korea
yes, Harvard on
take advantage of it. But again,
sorry, I ran out of
characters
characters
where
in the
you
title.
can break on aim patterns anywhere, and anyone can do it. It can happen to darn near anybody. And so it's another pick that feels like it's likely to be very contested, despite South Korea being on paper favored.
Yeah, on paper favored for South Korea, though, is right. I mean, 3.7 million on the Nomad 1 last week, 3.1 million on the Nomad 1 the week before. In round of 32, they put up a 4-way full
Elon
combo
isn't even
on the
American.
Nomad 1
Don't
there,
care. SpaceX
which
is this.
is, I believe,
that's all that matters.
With mod multipliers removed from any modded picks, including free mods, the single highest score of the tournament so far. So this skill set for them
Ed,
is
you should
just
put ABI
absolutely
instead of Elon Musk.
ridiculous.
That's even worse.
They are a team that excels at this aim, and so for them to falter,
Yo, pass was
it
good,
is
dude.
possible.
Bro, you
but
missed your
not
map. Your
very
song's
likely.
being played already, bro.
Whereas the United States, this is a team that typically has not really liked playing.
I just
these
woke up,
sorts of aim
bruh.
maps. Even free mod.
It's okay.
1
I was
stuff
there
that's
for
a
your
little more
reveal. I just
awkward,
wasn't live.
Stuff that does have that density element, or that has that aim control with the hard.
Was there standing at the tryout?
It's still
I
not
played
something
with
that they have
both
typically
hands behind my
picked
back.
into as a roster, and this is a multi-year trend for the United States of not really being an aim team, but being extremely good on aim control, on speed, on reading, on anything else in the pool, right? So for South Korea to be a team that excels at this skill set when there are multiple aim maps in this pool, I think is very good for their pick strategy in this match. And let's see if they can actually keep up this pick strategy after this pick. Because if you lose this one, you lose access to a lot of the rest of this pool. The Nomad 1, the Hard Rock 1, maybe even the Free Mod 4. All potential picks for South Korea. And so losing this would mean losing access to a lot of those potential other picks in the pool. It's Hyuk, Flying Tuna, Fragrance of Page, and Worst HR Player for South Korea. Hyuk on the Hard Rock, Worst HR Player on the Hidden, everyone else Nomad, Hydrogen Bomb, Rektigon, Taquito, Utami, and Decaton in for the United States. Rektigon on the hard rock, Taquito on the hidden. No surprises there either.
Yeah, this one lining up pretty much exactly how you would have anticipated, and I think as always on an AIM map, going to be eyes on Hyok, one of the preeminent AIM players in the world at the moment. He has set the most ridiculous AIM scores you've ever seen, on and on and on, but it's going to be the early break from Flying Tuna, a couple in fact, and it will be shortly, excuse me, there was a break from Decaton, I apologize, so this lead will be more or less even slightly in favor of the United States, but a bare margin at most as we get through these early stages of this pick. Everybody else, by and large, looking quite comfortable to this point. It's just going to be a matter of holding on when the going gets more difficult, but for now, dead even on this pick so far.
Yeah, dead even so far, and this is a map that has, as you said, a lot of easy places to break. Back and forth aim, wide angle, awkward jumps, anti-aim in this map. It's really got it all in terms of an aim suite for this map. And at 230 BPM and AR9, those no-mod scores are not as solid as you might expect. Obviously, the hidden players are going to have a tougher time on something like this, but these no-mod scores are not guaranteed for these players. And there goes Decaton, does find another slider break there, I believe in the bottom right corner. So another break for the United States. It's a slight lead for South Korea, but another couple of breaks there from Taquito. Did find a break on the square pattern on multiple of those notes, and now it's 2 FCs for the United States versus 3 for South Korea. Hyok, Fragrance, and Worst HR player all holding on to those FCs, and Flying Tuna on a good recovery here for the Nomad. It's Rektigon on the hard rock and Utami on the Nomad, so the two players I think you would want holding for the United States still doing so, but South Korea right now, massive combo lead. The score lead is coming over pretty quickly to their side, but it's not huge yet. It's only 120,000.
Yeah, it was before the halfway point, but the fact that SK has 3 FCs past that halfway point is insane.
This one being 4 minutes 21 seconds, that is a lot of time, but the comfort level looking so high. Hyok, Fragrance of Page, and Worst HR player, and that recovery combo of Tuna all just putting in the work here for South Korea. That lead continues to grow bit by bit, little by little, and their comfort level continues to be on edge a little bit, but that's going to help it out as Decaton finds multiple misses once more.
No!
There goes Rektigon on one of those 2 remaining FCs, and this map may just come to a quick conclusion here unless we see a full reset from South Korea, as dominant as you'd expect on the aim to this point. But there do go Hyok and Fragrance of Page. Worst HR player, the only FC left, being matched by Utami, who breaks on the last note before the slider, and that might just have done it right there.
I think that's going to seal it up. Worst HR player is still on the FC with hidden. Flying Tuna on this reverse choke with the Nomad, 98.6 accuracy. There's some combo on Taquito. There's a little bit on Rektigon and Decaton, but it's not nearly enough. South Korea with a 450,000 score lead and another couple of misses to come through for Decaton, just going to extend that score lead, extend that combo lead even further for South Korea. And with Taquito gone now, even if there was a full wipe, even if players started chain missing all over the place for South Korea, there is nothing the United States could do on this pick. Dominant on aim indeed for South Korea. This is the skill set they, I think, should and probably are going to lean into for the foreseeable future in this match, as this now looks to be even close to as dominant as the USA was on that DT1. Well over 750k by the end of the map for South Korea.
Oh
their
my
biggest
God.
score lead by far
Dude.
in this match.
Forum literally missed on like the third to last note.
800,000 points, and what a crazy team score. It's 3.2 million.
Oh my God, dude. He got robbed out of his
miss
FC.
on that very last pattern, practically an FC. Flying Tuna not too far behind, and Page and Hyok breaking right about the same place in the map. And man, this opens up some avenues for South Korea the rest of the way. As you alluded to before the map got started, they have the Nomad 1 open to them. They have the Hard Rock 1 open to them. They even have the Free Mod 4 if they want it. All aim or aim adjacent. And man, that
It's okay. It was
gives them
South Korea's
some
pick.
opportunities throughout the rest of this match. United States gonna have to play very carefully.
Have you tried the Hawk
because
Tua
that
new
makes it
cheater
feel like
keyboard?
South Korea
Ah,
has a
yes!
bunch of
I have
really
tried the
good
Hawk
picks to
Tua's
themselves.
cheater keyboard.
Even once we
It has
get
a button
down
that allows you to
the
spit
very
on that
end,
thing.
Potentially, 10 plus maps into this match. Back the other way though, it is gonna go. USA next pick.
I have a couple of things to say about that last map, by the way.
Aiden, what's up, dude? David, 87 months.
From,
Calvin Dake, David, the
Star
52
player
months.
would have been number.
What is bro
3
talking
or
about?
4
Lucius, if you
on
don't
the
know what I'm
leaderboard.
talking about,
There's currently a single
Run.
hidden FC.
you
Cook Easy, literally Cook Easy.
you have not been brain
The
rotted.
next best hidden score is a 2 miss from My Angel Anzu. Hyok 3 days ago full comboed that map with Hard Rock as well. Amamiya Kokoro 5 days ago with No Mod. And Allegrisimo just now, as they played that map, 5 missed with 1400 combo. So even the players sitting out on South Korea would have been almost top scoring for the United States on that map. That is how ridiculous this team is at aim. Now, they are filling up the leaderboard live during match with these scores.
What the fuck?
As we get into, I think probably the most predictable pick for the United States, DT2, Popipo, the Ryu remix, the Hatsune Miku vegetable dance. That's by Lucent. This is kind of reminiscent of some older style DT picks, but with the mechanics to match an OWC finals pool. Just about 253-ish, 252-ish BPM, finger control, doubles, quads, longer streams, jumps in between, flow aim for all of those burst patterns as well. It is very tough, but very control focused and much more bursty than long stream heavy, which for South Korea means this sort of map is much better to leave up than the Nomad 5. How much does that matter given what we saw in the DT1? Not entirely sure, but it certainly looks better on paper than something like the Nomad 5.
Yeah, better on paper. We saw the whole better on paper thing play out in the favor of the team that was indeed better on paper on that free mod one. So we'll see how that goes into the next map
Tuna
here.
finally taking a break.
But
He's
I
probably
think
playing the map in the
anything
background.
A tapping skill set is going to feel pretty good for the United States just in general. But,
Scatter, actually, I've been using a face mask recently. I was at like an Asian supermarket, and they had this like 40 pack of face masks for only like $6, and I'm like, you know what? That sounds like pretty good value. So I started using one every single day, and I'm like, wait, there's no way. It actually feels nice, and it makes me sleepy, so it helps me sleep. So I started using one every day for like the last like 3 days. I'm not sure if that's enough to see a difference, but
252 BPM bursty DT pick is going to see everybody's favorite.
Wait, is that an aloe vera bottle in the background?
Player who has
Legendary
been
map.
working on it. So we'll see how the improvement arc is coming for Forum on this type of pick. Rekion Utami, Takedo, and
no, it's
Window
veggie juice.
Life.
Fuck this map.
Again,
This map sucks.
A very, very dominant looking roster on a tapping finger control heavy map like this one, but so easy to break on so many different things. As Worst HR player is going to show us early on. He'll be coming first, followed by Takedo, followed by Amamiya Kokoro, and Dio the accuracy.
Amamiya Kokoro like the speed capped on this?
What I'm seeing from South Korea.
It ain't looking good, brother. It is not looking good for South Korea early on.
Nah, it's Jover, bro.
The United States, however, lowest
the USA
sweeps.
sweeps.
97.4 from Utami. Everybody else above that mark right now. A couple of misses, though, coming through for Rektigon and Window Life there. So the combos not looking quite as good for the United States as they were a moment ago, but the score lead certainly still way in their favor. 230k and climbing with that break from Flying Tuna. That's the last FC gone for South Korea, and Utami still holding strong for the United States. And Aaron, I don't think it mattered which DTs were left up by South Korea. I don't think it mattered which ones they banned. Nomad 5, DT3, DT2, DT1, they're all bad picks, unfortunately, for South Korea. And fortunately for the United States, they are well out ahead in this one. You know, they say never, but this is looking pretty one-sided, just, again, taking stock of the accuracy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny because the combo for South Korea isn't even that bad. Like, they actually have combo lead here. It just so happens that they're down by 3, 4, 5% on the accuracy, which makes it very, very hard to bring that score gap back. I mean, you've got 500 plus combo on Worst HR player, 500 combo nearly on Fragrance of Page, 400 on Tuna. So eventually this combo will outweigh the accuracy discrepancy, but when you've got Taquito and Window Life holding on to some pretty good combo and with 98 AC apiece, it's really going to prevent South Korea from bringing it back at any sort of pace. And
that's actually a really good point, dude.
Now that we're seeing the combos building up the way they are for the players holding them, namely
the accuracy on the USA is just like dominating, dude. Even if they lose out on the combo war,
wait a minute.
Accuracy just like brings it back.
They still have massive combo. Tuna will break, but there's not enough time.
No. With accuracy, South Korea wins that. I'm like, with accuracy, they win that. But unfortunately, 95, 95, 94, 93 against double 98.6s and a high 92, high 96s. I mean, South Korea wins that if they can play it in the correct fashion.
South Korea speed capped, unlucky.
Out combo game the United States on that pick. Unfortunately, the United States.
That was not a realistic flip at the end. I don't know what they were saying. That's what I'm saying, dude. Clean sweep for US of A.
You can see why they left that up, right? You can see why they left this one up as opposed to the DT3 or the Nomad 5, because they can combo game this. That was an absolutely winnable map for South Korea. They didn't win it in this match, but that was a winnable pick for them. So definitely makes sense to leave something like that.
Imagine playing DT versus Australia.
The United States, excuse me, not the United Sticks.
Especially when they have Mrekk.
The United River Sticks. Has picked DT1, DT2, and Hard Rock 3, which are all tapping maps in one way or another. Right?
Did bro actually just say the United Sticks?
Than the other two, but still a stream map, still a tapping
expected
map.
From a Canadian.
There's not really any of that left in the pool. The only thing that's even relatively similar is this Free Mod 4, and that's mostly an aim map with just a little bit of tapping on the bursts. But
the best song in the universe.
Are now gone for the United
by
States.
Lulek.
They did also take the Nomad 3. So if you want to go into similar stuff,
I thought my Nomad score on this was pretty good, but then I realized that this was Hard Rock inside the pool, and I'm like, all right, fuck this.
Could go into the Nomad 3, could go into the Free Mod 2 after this. But significantly less guaranteed, quote-unquote, options for the United States remaining now. And for South Korea, after that Free Mod 1, this Hard Rock 1 makes tons of sense. This is very, very similar in terms of the awkward wide angle jumps. Very similar in terms of the BPM. This is 240 as opposed to 230. The only main difference here is this is played with Hard Rock. So AR10, OD10, CS 5.2 for all players rather than one of the four. So South Korea may not have that density advantage on the Free Mod 1 as they had earlier. But just with how good South Korea has looked on aim throughout the tournament, you, again, expect this to be a very, very good pick for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty cut and dried one to me, right? You win the Free Mod 1 with the kind of performance they had on it. You just go into aim because it's obvious that you're playing aim very well. You are as this South Korean roster, such an incredible level on the aim maps that it just makes a lot of sense to continue in this skill set. And again, I mean, it's Hyok, it's Forum, it's Tuna, it's Allegrisimo coming in for this one. Or not. There he goes.
Or not. Never mind.
I wasn't expecting him to be in for this, but I was like, maybe they know something I don't. Meanwhile, there's Fragrance Page. Meanwhile, that makes a little more sense. Meanwhile, Decade and Rectagon, Pez, and Utami, United States will put their best foot forward on every map, right? Like, it's relatively rare to see them truly getting gapped on any skill set on any map.
I'm not gonna lie, this map kind of worries me, dude. South Korea was popping off on aim, dude.
Like, this South Korea team is
It's okay, though. Utami won't miss this time.
Dumb. It's gonna be Karcher in.
Utami will do what Utami does best, which is say that he sucks ass at the game while casually full comboing.
Whoever it is, like, it'll be fine. It'll just be fine.
Bro has Bubble Man mentality.
Watch them as they go, watch them as they come, but it's still a ridiculous Hard Rock aim roster for South Korea. At the end of everything, we get Hyok, Karcher, Fragrance Page, and worst HR player in for them. As you said, Decate and Rectagon, Pez, and Utami in for the United States. Still a very good Hard Rock aim roster for this team as well, but South Korea showed us their mettle on the Free Mod 1 and are looking to repeat here on this Hard Rock 1 with, again, a very similar sort of map, very similar sorts of patterns in this map as we get into things. A little bit of that awkward anti-aim patterning, a little bit of the wide angle jumps to start us off. And nobody breaking so far, but it is very early days on this map. And actually a miss for Karcher, a miss for Mercy Earlier, a miss for Hyok, all right at the start. That is Not
I don't
just
even
for
blame
South
him, though.
Korea,
This
now
intro
down
is
equal
really
combos.
awkward.
It is not that much combo overall, but you don't really want to be missing 300, 400 combo in this map right from the outset. With just Fragrance of Page holding onto the FC, United States now another miss for Hyuk to come through. And this is starting to be a little concerning a quarter of the way into the map with the 4-way full combo still going strong for the USA.
Yeah, 3-way full combo for the USA with a very early break from Utami, but indeed, like, you don't want to give up advantages when you don't really need to. That was by no means the most difficult portion of this map on which South Korea just found those breaks. They will need to stabilize, and we'll see how long the USA can hold on to all 4 of these combos, the triple FC and Utami backing it up. It is Fragrance of Page to hold on to the FC for South Korea as we reach about the halfway mark. This just brutal flow and back and forth in triples. I mean, this section is so much harder than it may visually appear. And there's the double break from the United States. It's Rektigon and Utami to fall. Hyuk will trade one of them out, but that is going to be a net gain for South Korea. There goes Pez as well. And Decayden falls. It's a full collapse from the United States at the halfway mark. All 4 players go down. Fragrance of Page holding the FC, finally breaking, but it's first HR player, and it is Karcher. Holding
what happened?
Goes for South Korea, and just like that, goes to South Korea. The United States just completely in tatters after that section of the map, and now South Korea can run with this as long as Karcher and worst HR player's legs can hold out.
Let's see if they can take them over the finish line with this one. It looks like it, as another couple of breaks come through for Pez, the only player to break in this ridiculous linear slider section with the wide angles and anti-aim patterns. Rektigon and Pez will find another couple of breaks there, but everyone from South Korea holds. It's, again, Karcher and worst HR player holding on to these high combos for South Korea, generating this score lead, and was less than a quarter of the map to go. Combo alive on Utami and Decayden, but matched by Hyuk and Fragrance of Page, and there goes Decayden as well. It's another break to come through for Rektigon afterwards. Finally, worst HR player will drop again, but Karcher still with this shaking so much, going into the hardest part of the map. This ridiculous high spacing into low spacing, high intensity section with the pattern aim, the back and forth jumps, the low spacing afterwards. Everyone on South Korea except for worst HR player is able to hit it, and that is not a sentence you often say, but just about everyone from the United States hitting that as well. These players dealing with that section immaculately, but at the end of the day, it's still that massive combo lead on Karcher for South Korea, and a massive score lead for the team as well. They did take them over the finish line. They ran with that lead. 890K for Karcher on that.
It's like every single player on South Korea just decided to avoid the tactical miss all at the same time.
And an over 500K score lead for South Korea. Very well done on that pick, and again, this just goes to show why they continue to pick this aim. They faltered early, they fumbled a little bit at the start, but that really intense, difficult, back and forth, linear flow changing into snap section came through in the middle of the map, and South Korea handled it with aplomb, whereas the United States found multiple misses on basically every member. And so South Korea able to take it by virtue of hitting the hardest sections in the map.
That was a wild one to watch, man. United States felt like they were in control through the early goings there, and then just could not get any sort of combo going that was meaningful in the back half of that map, which really, as you said, just goes to show how impressive South Korea can be on these aim maps. And so, like, they've still got picks in this skill set, right? They've still got the No Mod 1 to think about. They've got the 3 Mod 4 to think about, so they've got options going forward. Meanwhile, we flip things over. We go to the United States next pick. DT1, DT2, Hard Rock 3.
Chat, this is a lot closer than I thought. It's been going back and forth. If USA didn't get that breakpoint on No Mod 2, then like this would actually just be a ping pong match. Which is actually intentional because the USA wants it to be entertaining, so that we can get to the legendary tiebreaker featuring Cry and Enemy from the round table.
Korea is one of the best in the world at tech. So now things get a little more challenging. It is going to be that No Mod 3. So United States saying we won the alt No Mod 2.
Yeah, we're content farming.
Dabble a small amount into kind of some swing alt in this No Mod pool and see if it can work out a second time in this match to maintain the advantage.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better picks remaining for the United States. You look at the Nomad 3 from last
Content
week,
farming in a
usually
tournament
you
is
think
wild.
Nomad 3,
I mean,
that's an alt map. Well, last
what's
week
called?
it was CS6
So
Swing.
Tommy literally
And
FC'd
this is not
farmed
CS6, but it is Swing.
in match, so like
it's a lot more finger control snap aim focused than it is flow aim wiggle focused.
Chat, there's another match after this, right?
In the Nomad 2 earlier
Unlucky.
At the start of the match. And this was a head-to-head victory for the United States. Looking at both team scores from last week, they were number 1 and number 2 on the map for United States
What's going
and
on
South
here?
Korea in that order.
It is
But
United
a head-to-head
States versus
victory
South
is still a
Korea in
head-to-head
the
victory.
OC World Cup.
And whether it's by 6,000, 100,000, or a million, you take those. That is still a point on the board. And United States still a very, very good finger
Put Fiery Rage
for
back
this
in.
team. Players like Taquito, players like Rectigon.
I can
players
get
like
behind
Kama,
that.
Players like Decaton. We haven't even seen Kama in this match. He's one of the best finger control players in the game. Has some obscene accuracy plays as well. I don't know if he's going to be in for this map in particular, but certainly a shout on something like this. And again, this is a roster where you have that depth to make those types of roster decisions, right? You have your staple picks in people like Utami, Rectigon, to some extent Decaton as well, but there are multiple other people that the United States can
I
put
just
in
realized
for this
someone put
map.
Chaos
And so you're
Eater
going to expect a
39
solid
back
roster
in.
for them. That said, South Korea, it's not like they're slouches on this sort of thing. They were
Put
still the number
BMC
2
back
team
out?
of the weekend on this map.
Bruh.
Players like Worst HR player, players like Allegrisimo could be in for this as well. It doesn't look like he is going to be in
No,
on this
chat,
one.
no,
Was in on
don't
the
put
one
me
last
back in.
but players like Hawk, players like Fragrance of Page, players like Flying Tuna, again, still ridiculous on this type of swing alt finger control, snappy aim focused sort of pick. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing these teams face off head to head on this. This is, as you said, Aaron, I think the first USA pick that has felt like a
Put
toss-up.
John
Maybe a
Porler
slight
back in.
favoring toward the United States at the outset, but certainly by no means as favored towards them as things like we've seen in the DT1, the DT2, the Hard Rock 3. So this is the test of the United States and their remaining picks in this pool.
And as we said at the outset of this match, it was always, a little bit felt like it was going to be the question of what kind of advantage could the United States have when they went, through the DT picks, and what would they pick into when they ran out of those speedy maps. And with the breakpoint in hand off that Nomad 2, Nomad 3 does make sense as kind of a similar but different skill set. Man, this is taking us back a ways to a map that can be very, very close, and it's an early break from Decaton, not what you want to see. Down at 95 accuracy, Rectigon down at 96 as well. A little bit of discomfort here to start this match off for the USA. South Korea, meanwhile, Tuna, Hyok, Fragrance, Page, and Forum on the four-way FC thus far through some very challenging slider finger control patterns. And everyone making it through except Taquito. Down goes Tuna, down goes Decaton again. 3 FCs to 2 in favor of South Korea as Rectigon falls, makes that 3-1. And this is feeling like maybe just a little bit of a mispick here from the United States as they move into the more challenging portion of this
It's okay.
match
They
in
want
terms
South
of pick
Korea to
strategy.
feel like they actually have a chance.
Yeah, and we've seen
When I snap my fingers,
comebacks
all
from
three
behind
of their full
already in
combos
this
will
match,
disappear.
Right? We saw the Hard Rock 1, the very last map. South Korea was behind until suddenly the United
In
States fell
3,
apart in the middle, and South Korea held their combo, held
2,
their nerve, and were able to take it back. There is still time
1,
for that sort of thing to happen in this match
0.5,
and in this map, but it's going to have to
0.25,
come relatively soon. We are now halfway through the pick. Another break to come through for
0.1,
Flying
fuck.
Tuna. So combo a little bit better
Please
for the United
break.
States, but the score lead still going in the favor
Please.
of South Korea. Hyok versus HR player, Fragrance Page, all still on the full combos. Only
Fuck.
Utami for the United States, but big recovery for Decaton, solid recovery for Taquito, and Rectigon not too far behind as well.
Just
But
snaps
there
so they
goes
break.
Decaton. It's another drop during this second KI time, 2/3 of the way into the
Fuck.
map, and that now is going to cut the remaining score down for the United States by quite a lot. It's a 300,000 score lead for South Korea, and they still have this 3-way full combo going 2/3 of the way into the map in the United States. I think it's safe to say at this point, potentially a mispick for this roster. If everyone on South Korea breaks and Utami holds by himself, there might be a chance at a comeback here. If we see 2 or 3 breaks for South Korea, there is enough time for these other combos on the United States to bring this back, but that requires a lot of luck and a lot of grit from the US to hold everything into the ending.
And I just don't know if there's going to be that kind of luck remaining. It is the break from Forum So the door, like, maybe just ever so slightly creaks open, but down goes Rektigon, and really, it's just not going to matter.
Oh my god, they're going to tie it up.
Hiak is still holding the FC
oh
into
my
the ending.
god.
Page is still holding the FC into the ending, and this is another one of these ridiculous gimmicky map team scores that South Korea has put up throughout this tournament time and time again. Hiak and Fragrance of Page, newcomers to the Korea roster, help them find their first break point of the match. It is a 3 million team score for South Korea. Unbelievable stuff. Who cares about 95 AC? Who cares about 97 AC? It's an S rank. It's another S rank. Oh, look, it's a third for South Korea on the pick. And that is the match tied up for a piece. The United States' first real question mark of a pick ends up being an exclamation point for South Korea, and now we have a best of 5 remaining in the match, and United States has question marks remaining the rest of the way, let alone just this map. South Korea feels like they maybe just have switched the momentum.
We may have to go in together to bring this back. I teamed up with BTMC to destroy South Korea. Here's how I did it. First, I sent a message in the Twitch channel. BTMC, we have to go in. South Korea needs us. BTMC, I got you, bro. Here we go.
Take this next one back.
John Portler x BTMC.
Pull in the nerves a little bit.
Flying Tuna, I will obliterate you. Quick, send the nukes. Got it.
Have at least the 1 point advantage. For now, though, that breakpoint just evens things out, right? We are back tied 4-4. It is not a ridiculously one-sided affair. Even, 2 picks left for both teams. South Korea, okay, you probably look at Nomad 1 and either the Free Mod 4, as it still is mostly an AIM map, or maybe something like the DT4 that is also AIM. And for the United States now, what are their 2 picks? The Free Mod 2 and the... Oh, and actually, no, it's not going to be AIM for South Korea. It's going to be Nomad 4. We're going to get Data Eraser by Lusumi.
Wait, this is a banger. What
Funny
the?
and Hee goated collab. And this is
Wait, who is Funny?
This is an original song for the
Who the fuck is Funny?
Finals. We did also, of course, get the Hidden 3 original earlier, as well as the Nomad 3. That was an original for a different mode World Cup. But
what the?
This is another one of those OS originals.
I have no idea who this guy is.
Cup 2024 Finals. This is slider tech straight up. This is 200 BPM, somewhat mechanics tech,
bro.
But the sliders, finger control, spaced cut streams are absolutely ridiculous in this map. And on paper, you look at this South Korea roster and you think this is an obscene team for tech picks. But the United States is right behind them. Utami, Decaton, Rektigon, Taquito, players like Kama as well can be really, really ridiculous on tech like this. So this is something that can go either way once again. I think a little bit less favored towards South Korea than the raw aim that is left in this pool, with things like the Nomad 1 still open. But maybe something they felt like they would have had to pick at some point regardless, as Data Eraser now looking at the next
I am
pick
sweating
for South
and shaking.
Korea.
Yeah, because you voted for South Korea. And guess what? You're about to lose it all.
Both of these teams face off on this map. Because if it's anything like what we've seen in terms of the head-to-head scores from previous weeks on tech
Listen,
picks,
I have no
this
stake in this, all right? I am a true neutral party. And as a completely unbiased true neutral party, I will tell you right now, South Korea is gone!
Performances on that Nomad 4. I mean, geez. This is the 2 teams that I think everybody wanted to see play this map when it was revealed in the showcase. This type of slider tech, so good for so many members of these rosters, right? I don't even, you can't pick a favorite for who in this roster is the best at tech, because everyone is so good at it. But I mean, again, you've got Tuna, Forum,
Real
Hiak,
Kano,
and
ain't no
Amelia
way. Who else would it be?
Just like
he's finally off of Diablo.
Absolute final boss juggernaut of a slider tech roster. And we'll see what the United States can do. Breakpoint in their favor on the first map of the match, and then on the 8th they give it back up finally, and we'll see if they can claim it once more, as an early break does come in from Flying Tuna at the very start. Not going to mean all that much We are just watching and enjoying masters of their craft on a map such as this one, with 7 FCs still intact in the lobby, with the second break to come from Amamiya Kokoro, and that is going to be advantage United States at the 1/4 mark.
That's another break to come through for Taquito right afterwards, though. Hold your breath for Bancho misses on a map like this. With all the sliders abounding in this pick, you can sometimes get those false misses in the tournament client, so do make sure that it is a real miss before thinking that it might be over for one side or the other. It's still 2 full combos for South Korea.
Oh my god,
a big recovery for Flying Tuna. Amamiya Kokoro
how the
on
hell
a slightly higher
do
recovery
people
combo
play
than
this map?
Taquito as well.
And more importantly, how the fuck are 3 people have seen this on the US of A?
Knife's Edge
This map is
35K
crazy, dude.
in favor of the United States going into the second half of the map, and still 5 full combos intact at this point. It is a massive team score for both of them. Another break to come through for both Flying Tuna and Taquito, but you prefer that if you're the United States. A little bit more combo on Flying Tuna there than on Taquito, but another break to come through for the USA captain here. It's the 3 full combos holding down the fort for the United States, but there goes Rectagon. The hydrogen bomb is dropped, and there goes Decayton Hyuk.
Oh my god, oh my god, no!
One Horse Stage Star player versus Utami on the FCs, but big support for Amamiya Kokoro, pulling it back towards South Korea here into the last quarter now. Another drop for Rectagon, and it is still so close, under 100K, but in favor and growing for South Korea. Taquito to find another couple of drops. Amamiya Kokoro, Hyuk, and Utami all breaking at the same point, and that will do it. It's another point for South Korea. This looked like a massively close point when we loaded into the map, but Worst HR player is here to say, nah, no problem. Put me in once again. Put me in for every single map so far, and I will continue to deliver. The full combo from Worst HR player.
He is the best in the world at his maps, and this is his map. The slider tech overlord of the OSU tournament scene. Time and time again, we've seen it on the biggest stages, and this is no exception. The lone FC in the lobby and the top score by over 200,000 points. Forum saying to his team, if y'all need to get in my backpack, go for it, and I will carry you to victory. And he does it here to put South Korea in the lead.
This guy actually just 1v3
this match for the first time.
He was the only full combo versus 3 full combos on the USA.
The entire way through
and
until
he just
the 4-4
1v3
tie, and now it's South Korea with their nose out in front, and big pick to come from the United States. South Korea 1 point from forcing a match point.
I don't know what to say,
if they can pull off another break, the United States have to find something. They have to stop this slide, because that's a few points in a row for South Korea. And where do you even go if you're the USA? Not a lot left in this pool looking too great for you.
And can we just, for a second, talk about that accuracy, by the way? That was 99 accuracy on the full combo from Worst HR player. The other players did have good ac. It was 98 from Decayton, 98 from Amamiya Kokoro, 98 from Taquito. But 99 ac on an FC on something like that is absolutely absurd. To boot, both of those teams are the top 2 scores of the weekend so far on that map. Number 1 and number 2, once again, for the United States and South Korea on that.
Think about it, Ed. You can't lose. If USA wins, great for you. If they lose, you get to make content.
Sort of gimmick.
What the fuck does that mean? If USA loses, I get content. What kind of content is USA losing? That's the worst content of all time. That's boring as shit.
It's a
who the fuck wants to watch the USA lose?
And it does it all. You want your 1/3s, we got them. You want your 1/6, we got them. You want your 1/8 triples, a couple of 1/8 quints, we got them. And how about, just for the sake of the song, how about we sprinkle in a few 1/7 streams for you as well? How about those? Some 7 or 8 node, I believe, 1/7 streams in this map. Now, a lot of those are broken up by how they are mapped, the way they are placed in terms of what the pattern looks like, as well as the spacing on these patterns, differs from beat snap divisor.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. This map scares me, man. The USA picked this, but like KTGster strikes fear into my heart.
Different from the 1/6, which always look different from the 1/8, which always.
And South Korea has worst hard rock player and flying Tuna.
Understand how things are shaped, how they are spaced in this map. It helps a lot with that reading, but that doesn't help all that much.
Where is flying Tuna?
Executing and actually hitting the damn pattern, because my God, is it still so difficult to do.
There he is.
Especially if you're trying to read something like this with hidden, the object density, even though it's
KTGster fear is real. It is real, dude.
With all of the
like if you see KTGster in a pool, you're fucked. You are fucked, or I am fucked. I'm fucked,
and on
dude.
Hard Rock, of course, you're dealing not just with the higher OD on a rhythm map like this, but also with CS 6.5 on this pick. So this is a bear on the mods. It is absolutely an anti-mod pick. And you are going to see bare minimum mods for both of these teams as well. Hidden for Flying Tuna, Hard Rock for worst HR player, no mod for both
Tuna spit
and
on that
Kokoro.
thing.
Double Hard Rock, actually.
You're
from the
more
United
brain
States.
rotted
Kama
than me,
and
dude.
Rectagon both on the Hard Rock, Taquito on the Hidden, and Utami on the no mod. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out for him.
It is a bold move indeed, but anything at this point in the match was always going to feel bold on a pool such as this that does feel like it has a few more picks for South Korea than for the United States. Also bold, of course, fact that you have Kama in for his first map of the entire match.
It's okay, Kama carries.
10 is the United States.
Tactical miss on Kama, but that's okay.
A point or two here.
Excited to see the
and
FC.
He will be
Here
the
we go.
first to break for that side, along with Flying Tuna on the Hidden, breaking for South Korea. And you can already see what this map throws at you. You've got the snap aim requirement. You've got the various finger control, all these different beat snap divisor bursts. And the challenge is
these
there,
patterns.
and the players so far up to it. The Utami accuracy. Holy
No,
moly, guys.
Kama!
Utami accuracy.
No!
Another break from Kama. For him, Flying Tuna, Friggers and Page,
Wait, it's
all
okay.
the fall for South Korea.
Taquito,
It
the
is
bomb,
down
and
just
Utami
Kokoro
are
holding
chilling.
The lone full combo for South Korea still. Meanwhile, USA, Utami, Taquito, and Rectagon holding through to this point. Halfway down goes Amamiya Kokoro.
Ah,
and
yes!
United States rolling
Yes!
on this pick in a way we have not seen from them in a little bit here. 400,000 points, nearly 500k already.
Bro, why
And
is
there's still an entire
Form
third of the
shaking
map to
so
go.
badly?
This looks to be a very one-sided affair for the United States. If they can keep holding on, a great pick.
I mean, my God, man. Like, still the three-way full combo, 3/4 of the way into the map for the United States. It's unassailable. It is unassailable. This is an absolutely ridiculous performance from the USA on this map.
Nah, this is expected.
Kama isn't even
US
needed
of
on
A.
this pick. They are 3v4ing
Let's go.
easily.
Utami,
this is obscene from the
Taquito.
US. Finally a break from one of these
Not
other full combos.
Rectagon
It is from
anymore.
Rectagon on that second Hard Rock,
Damn
but
right.
it just doesn't matter.
Yes.
Apparently the double Hard Rock was for
Yes.
fun because they really didn't need the double Hard Rock, but even if they had gone no mod, it wouldn't have mattered. 1.1 million team score difference in favor of the United States to tie things up 5-5. Guarantee both teams get their last pick, get access to that final pick of the match, the double FC coming through for Utami and Taquito. And again, it goes to show that this pool, these maps, yes, a lot of them are control focused. Yes, a lot of them are a little gimmicky. That does not mean the United States should be counted out
SK fried
of any of
chicken
these
is better.
picks,
Changed
because
my
they
mind.
still have some absolutely absurd players for these sorts of maps.
That's actually pretty valid. So,
As we
like,
said
Korean fried
from
chicken is
the
actually fucking
very
good.
outset of the match, a lot of these picks that you might think are South Korea favored or, you know, 50-50, United States has plenty of strong players for. They've been here before. They've seen the rhythm control picks before. They've seen the aim control picks before. They've seen the finger control picks before. They know what they're getting themselves into, and they're more than prepared for it. And as you said, it's one pick left per team. We're at 5-5. We're guaranteed each team's last pick. South Korea, you just pick no mod 1. You don't think about it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just take your no mod 1. And,
Bro's playing
get your match
Monopoly.
point. This was
no
like
mod 1
the
alert.
pick we expected. So I'm not even going to talk about this because it's just aim. It's just raw aim, and South Korea is broken on this skill set. But, you know, if you're USA, you're almost just thinking ahead to the next pick, and you're thinking back to 2 picks ago. Like,
Wait, chat, is no
you
mod
had
1
that
still
3x2
like no mod
available,
1, or
with
is it like
hindsight,
different?
man,
Because
if
like
only we had picked that with the
OWC
previous
doesn't do
pick and
slot
didn't
pulling
give up the
anymore,
right
right?
point on the no mod 3. but you can't do anything now except go forward and put your best foot forward and give it your best shot.
Elvin Stud, I mean, I know this song.
On this aim.
And the song that I know, or the map that I know of this song is an aim map, but like,
especially as a
who knows? It's a no mod one with streams. This is the best no mod one of all time.
Very dominating from South Korea on these sorts of aim picks throughout the match and throughout the tournament, really. So
oh, true. It's made by Tommy Dragon. I'm dumb.
A sudden upset from the United States on this pick. If it does happen, it would be massive for this match.
OWC pretends they don't do slot tooling, lol.
Able to close it out before the tiebreaker, but you have to expect South Korea to be very, very solid on this. Cool, calm, and collected. All 4 players already in the lobby for South Korea. Hyok, Fragrance of Page, Flying Tuna, worst HR player up against, for a time there, 0
You get 900k on this?
For the United States.
Oh, that's so funny.
There are a couple of longer space streams at 200 BPM in this map, so if there's any patterns, I feel like you could look to for potential chain misses, potential discomfort for South Korea. I
haven't been here for 2 years, and even I know that.
We did see, of course, on the Hard Rock 3, South Korea not the best on those sorts of patterns. USA was able to abuse that skill set versus them in the.
This is South Korea's last pick, and they are rolling the dice.
Be able to see that
on
sort
aim
of pattern matter in this map, but with how the game has looked for South Korea, it is not super likely.
Why aren't you playing? Because if I was playing, then this would be a clean sweep for the USA.
Trying to take the
Don't you guys agree that this is more fun?
And as for South Korea,
I mean, USA will still win, but it's like, come on.
In to attempt the match point for South Korea. Let's get into this Nomad 1. Custom map by Tomei Dragon. 7.85 stars and 200 BPM. Last week, we saw the Melon Boy custom, which was 220 BPM. That map, in retrospect, somewhat accessible for a lot of players, I think, in large part due to the decreased spacing because of that higher BPM. 220 BPM, it's a lot easier to get to that higher star rating. 200 BPM, it's way harder. You have to have massively spaced jumps to get this to this sort of star rating on a map like this. And here they come. Here we are already. These sorts of jumps just do not stop in this map.
Yeah, Tomei Dragon, of course, very well known for just the crazy spacing on his aim throughout maps that he has created over time. And this is absolutely no exception. It's going to be the early break from Window Life to get things underway here for the USA down to the 3 FCs. South Korea thus far unblemished, unmarred, unbroken on aim. We'll see how long the 4-way can remain intact. It's only a small lead, of course. This is nearly 4 minutes long, but they get through another big pattern. They get through the stream as well. And look at that, Forum SSing that stream. So if there were any concerns over some of those streams causing trouble for him, I think you might be able to take a little bit of a deep breath and not be too worried. USA, though, 3 full combos still intact. Just
South Korea has
slight misaim,
a very nice SS on their team.
We'll see how long those
it looks very nice.
But they're going to need some help because South
it would
Korea
be a shame if it were to
as Dio said, cool
disappear.
There's the next break indicating still 4-way for South Korea because, of course, it's still a 4-way for South Korea.
That said, you can't count your chickens before they hatch, right? You cannot count on this for a victory until it is finally over for South Korea. Still the 2-way full combo for the United States on Utami and Rectigon. Still a good recovery combo for Window Life on this. And into the second KI time we go. Massive scores for everyone on South Korea. Massive combos for
dude, I'm gonna puke.
Lobby. There goes one of them. It is Window Life to fall. The 2 FCs still going for the United States, and now a 200,000 score lead as Utami also finds the drop for the United States. It is 4.
Dude, this isn't even the aim. What are you guys breaking on?
Just Rectigon on the United States. Allegrisimo will drop
no!
as well during this part of the song, but Utami's going to trade it out once again, and that is still a 2 full combo advantage for South Korea, 3-1 in their favor, with Hyok, Fragrance of Page, and Worst HR Player all still holding these FCs for their team. Just an absolutely massive scoreline, and there goes Rectigon, and there goes any hopes of the United States taking this map dashed away by the last guitar solo stream. It is South Korea. Was there ever any doubt at the start of this map?
It's okay. The USA just wanted to make sure that tiebreaker came
this
in.
South Korea team is showing us levels of aim.
You know, like
heretofore considered impossible.
Crying Enemy worked so hard on the tiebreaker, they had to make sure that it gets played.
They just keep going. It is into the last ki. It is a triple full combo still intact. It is nearly a 1 million score difference. And man, USA we thought might have had something crazy with that 1.1 million score gap on the free mod 2. South Korea
what
saying
the
we can
fuck?
do that
Are they actually going to three-way FC this?
Late break from Forum into the ending, but Fragrance of Patriarch still holding. And it's going to be a 1 million score difference.
Are you
on 2
serious?
points in a row. First for the United States. And this time for South Korea, as they will close out the map. A lone FC by the end on Fragrance of Page, but a 3.4 million, 7.85 star no.
Damn, they really was just like holding on to that,
is
man.
a sight to behold, and it will give South Korea.
They were really just holding on to that.
Of this match. United States forced to pick to avoid dropping right here and now, but man, can we just look at those scores from Korea, because my lord, what is this team doing on aim?
1.1 million team
dude.
score gap, 1,100,000.
There are 8,500 people watching this match, chat.
It was just meant to be. It was just meant to be on that map. As now we get into the last pick for the United States. The Nomad pool completely gone. The hidden pool completely gone.
To be fair, to the US, they won from
Hard
losers
Rock
last year, as much as I hate to remember it.
BPM,
Yeah,
CS 6.5
it's just to make things
precision.
interesting, but like, surely they wouldn't do that again, because like, that would be boring, you know?
Honestly, a lot of jump aim, a lot of slider jumps in that map as well. The free mod 3 anti-mod CS6 AR 7.5 reading and precision hybrid pick there. And then last but not least, the free mod 4 Monday Mania 258 BPM CS2. But mostly aim once again, and so I feel like these last two picks probably comes down to whether they want to go the Hard Rock 2 or the Free Mod 3, and it is going to be that Hard Rock 2. They have already won on Ainane in the Hard Rock 3 200 BPM space streams. They're going to try their hand here.
This is it, guys. The last map before tiebreaker. South Korea will get obliterated. There'll be 3 FCs on the US of A. South Korea will be absolutely crushed going into the tiebreaker. They'll be like, damn, can we really win it against the USA on this epic song by Cry and Enemy? I don't know, man. Doubt will seep in,
it's like
and then they will lose.
It's just going to come down to the smallest of margins on something like this. Because there's, again, it's a situation where you are forced into picking whatever feels just slightly best of the remaining maps, and everybody is just holding their breath and praying because the nerves are at an all-time high, and the exhaustion.
Wait, this is a Mordred map. What the fuck?
Of the match is growing and growing, and there are so many little factors.
I feel like with Mordred style, it would favor South Korea.
Just the raw difficulty of what it actually has to offer you, and man, if memory serves, this comes down to a big diff spike, right? There's a big diff spike we're going to be looking out for.
It definitely does. The last about third, maybe quarter of this map is
USA? What is
absolutely
USA?
In comparison to
most of the
things that
and Yodi working overtime.
Patterns in the first 3 quarters, 2/3 of this map. There are still difficult one-shot patterns. Lots of very high spacing.
That was Dead Road, actually?
In this map that can absolutely wreck your combo. Lots of linear streams, once again, with changes between very low and very high spacing pretty much instantly. If you leave the start of that stream too early, you will chain miss right afterwards. But a lot of this at the ending comes down to the massive buff to spacing that nearly every pattern sees at the end. And so if you have a big score lead going into
emotes
that
are just not working
section,
on this shit.
it's not likely
this is so
to
sad.
change.
I'm gonna have to
You're
uninstall and reinstall it.
A lot of
thank you.
Player carry performances at the end, even with the.
All right, here we go, chat. The map is starting.
Coming in for both of these teams. Karcher, Allegrisimo, Hyuk, and worst HR player coming in for South Korea. Pez, Rectagon, Utami, and Decaton coming in for the United States. Both of these teams, the exact same rosters that we saw on Hard Rock 2 last week for them on Saika, repeating the exact same roster here for the Hard Rock 2 in I'm not pronouncing this. This week's finals, Hard Rock 2. Let's see it. Let's get into it. This is the last pick of the match, no matter which way this goes, whether it's to tiebreaker
Karcher with the tactical miss.
Side of grand finals for South Korea. This
All
is
eyes on him. He might have to see the rest of the map.
That we will see from either of these teams.
Wait, so did Pez.
Early breaks to start us off. More
oh my god, what the hell? There's a square in this map?
Breaks right there at the start. Karcher, the only one to match, but another miss.
Wait, this map is insane, dude.
And so combo lead.
What are these patterns at CS 6.5?
Karcher is a player who's been a little less present in this match than in South Korea's matches in past
years.
my
god! These squares are so terrifying!
And we'll see if it comes back to bite them, having him maybe not as warmed up.
Nah, dude, I'm getting stressed just watching this, bro.
Trade there from Allegrisimo and Pez. So you have the double FC on Rektigon and double FC. No! My goodness! Break the pin, and Utami, worst HR player, and Hyok on the double full combo still for South Korea. Pez continuing to struggle. Rektigon, the only combo for the United States, but there goes Hyok, there goes Karcher, so that is going to stabilize it out just a little bit. It is Forum, it is Rektigon. They have been heroes time and time again throughout this entire year. There goes Forum, there goes Hyok once more, and it is down to only Allegrisimo with about 300 combo as the United States tries to pull this one back, but they're right into the break at the halfway mark of the map. And just
wait, that's it? That's literally it, dude.
That's to stop. It's going to halt.
Wait, no, it's only a 34k difference.
At 34,000 points through this lengthy break, the players will see the score. The players will know it is practically dead even.
Allegrisimo is the only person with the combo.
In favor of South Korea with Allegrisimo.
And Aaron, when it's this close, when you have a 34k lead for either of these teams going into the ending, yes, Allegrisimo is going to build a little bit of score here for South Korea, but some of this can just come down to whichever team
Decaden, come on, dude.
Whichever team
come on!
has a worse time on the ending. You already see this ridiculous spacing here. This increases what we were talking about before the start of the map.
No fucking way, dude.
Havoc.
There's only a quarter of the map left.
Finding misses all over the place. The only one with any semblance of combo is Rektigon. He is finding his way. He is building a path through this ending in the map. Can he hold on long enough? Can the rest of his team hold it together enough to bring this score lead back to the side of the United States? It's all on his shoulders. The star player for the United States in World Cup so far, but can he bring it back to force the tiebreaker?
No, it's still going towards South Korea. You're joking.
Is there enough time? Is there enough combo? It's only 80k, but there's just more for South Korea, and more is all you need. Whether it's 80k, 800k, 1.1 million, it doesn't matter. A point is still a point, and that's all they needed to close it out and get to the grand finals.
And South Korea, the team, it is the full team performance once more. Rektigon doing all he could into the dying seconds of the map, but it was not meant to be. The team performance from South Korea, too strong. Forum, Hyok, Allegrisimo, Karcher all putting forth efforts that were enough to get the win, and they avoid the tiebreaker onto winner's side grand finals for the third year in a row. Can this finally be the opportunity that anybody other than United States has so long awaited to break through and claim victory? They just got one step closer, their hardest test yet, and they withstood an onslaught from the United States to go onward to become that first team into the grand finals. Give it up for South Korea. What a match, what a performance, and what a team.
South Korea are here to prove that even gods can bleed. In the last 2 years, in 2022 and 2023, South Korea has only taken one match off the United States, and that was in the semifinals in 2022. In the grand finals in 2022, it was USA 7-1 and then 7-4 through the bracket reset to win. In the 2023 grand finals, it was once again a 2-0 match score for the United States, 7-5 and then 7-6 in the bracket reset to win it all once again. But South Korea now with a win in the true late stages of the tournament, in the true ending section of the OWC World Cup, where the United States has been a team for years and years with unmatched scaling. They have finally found a way to beat this roster at the end of the tournament where it matters the most. Gods can bleed, and South Korea are here to take them down. They have finally done it and made their way into, as you said, Aaron, the grand finals from winner's side for the 3rd year in a row. And the United States once more drops to loser's bracket to face off against the winner of the last remaining match of the finals weekend. It is Australia versus Germany in the loser's bracket today, actually, at 12:30 UTC. I was going to say tomorrow. It's tomorrow for me, but today in UTC, Sunday, 12:30 UTC, the last remaining match of the finals weekend and the deciding match for our last top 3 team, our last roster on the podium.
And that match is going to be lights out. Australia and Germany both looked so good in their wins today over Russia and over the United Kingdom, respectively. Really fascinating skill set matchup to come for that.
This was not part of the script. This was not supposed to happen. Why the fuck did they pick a Mordred map into South Korea, dude? What the fuck, bro? It's okay. It's okay. Everything is fine. If only Ed was participating. You're right! They need me! They need me, chat! Maybe I should come back to the OWC World Cup team. Maybe I should return. I'm actually speechless, dude. I actually don't know what to say, bro. I actually can't believe it, dude. They actually lost, dude. USA fucking lost. There's no way, dude. Change title to USA OWC versus South Korea, except USA gets obliterated by capitalism, K-pop fakers, Samsung, and kilometers. I don't want to hear this shit. Goodbye. Thanks for watching, chat. See you guys next month. Chat. See. Oh shit, Bimphy is streaming. No way. Did you guys watch his comeback stream? It was crazy.
And I want to be able to...
If you know, you know. Shit's fucked. Alright. See you guys. Oh, by the way, chat, this next video is going to be a fucking epic. If you don't watch it, you're fake. I spent literally like an entire month working on this shit. This doc is 39 pages long. If you guys don't watch this video, you're fake. Hopefully coming out in the next like couple days. Enjoy life. See you guys. Peace out, guys. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget about Block Wars. Fuck me, I have to stream again. All right. We'll be back for Block Wars on December, what is it, 2nd? I forgot. December 3rd. Yeah. Twitch Rivals charity stream thing. Mrekk hate watching BTMC.
Congratulations. Should I get stream?
Only Ed was participating. You're right. They need me. They need me.
They need me. They need me. They need. Shut the fuck up, bro. You are legit 3 digits. You wouldn't.
I don't want to hear it. Goodbye. Y'all ruined my fucking day. I don't want to hear it. Goodbye.